Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anisha and thank you so much for joining me here today. Today I'm setting up my monthly reading wrap up for July in my reading journal. I know this video is quite late, but I have been just really busy with a lot of things recently. So for today's setup, one of the main themes is going to be these stickers, and I'm going to pair these with this washi tape. If you have watched my previous videos, you might remember that I used this combination way back in January for my yearly spreads. And I'm also going to use this PET tape for today's setup. This one is a new addition. I haven't used this one in my journal yet. Along with that, I'll be using my Ohoho markers and Micron Pigma fine liners as well. Now let's start with the cover page. As I said, I'm repeating some of the elements from my previous setup here. I was actually eyeing some new stationery items and thinking about making a purchase. There are some small online shops I usually buy my supplies from, and they recently came out with some really cute new items. But since I still have a lot of leftover supplies with me, I felt a little guilty about jumping straight to buying new products. So that's why I decided to reuse some of the elements I already have for this setup. That's it for the cover page for now. I'll add a couple more stickers to it later, but for now I'm moving on to the calendar page on the right. This is something I usually include in all my monthly reading wrap up. The calendar is basically just a visual representation of the days I read each book. July was actually quite slow in terms of reading for me. I only read 4 books, but I was still pretty happy with that. Lately, I have been reading more slowly. I'm not in a reading slump, but I'm taking more time with each book and I'm really enjoying the process lately. My reading speed usually varies. Sometimes I'll read 9 or 10 books in a month, and other times it's only 3 or 4. So, July was one of those slower months, but since the books I read were really good, I'm overall quite happy with July. Moving on to the next spread. On the left hand side, I'm creating a table where I'll list all the books I read, the author's name, the format I read them in, and my rating. And on the right hand side, I'm going to stick the book covers along with my rating stickers. This is basically the same information as the previous page, but I like being consistent. These are the pages I have been using throughout this year, and I don't really mind if it feels a bit repetitive. It's just a different way of representing more or less the same information, and I enjoy keeping this consistency. So, the books I read this month include An Era of Darkness by Dr. Shashi Tharoor, The Deccan House Murders by Yukito Ayatsuji, The Heat Wave by Kate Riordan, and the second book in the Miss Bond trilogy, The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This one was the only physical book I read this month, but it was pretty big one, over 800 pages, so I think that is justified. Moving on to the next spread, this is where I include all my monthly reading stats. I have already created all these charts and graphs in Canva and printed them on sticker paper, so I'll be using them here. For July, I read 4 books with a total of 1133 pages and about 20.95 hours of audiobooks. In terms of genres, I read 2 mystery thrillers, 1 fantasy, and 1 non-fiction. For ratings, I had 2 books at 3.5 stars, 1 at 4 stars, and 1 at 4.5 stars. That brings my average rating for the month to 3.88. As for the formats, I read 1 physical book, 1 ebook, and 2 audiobooks. Out of the 4, 1 was a non-fiction and the rest were fictions. And only one of these books was already in my TBR and the other 3 were new additions. Alright, I'm done with the setup. Now let's do a final flip through. Okay, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my channel for more journaling content and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.